We back, baby. Action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, Becca, Eddie,
and this is Alamo City Movie Talk for movie fans. Guys, thank you for making us a part of your day. It's great to be back here in the Movie Talk studios. Great to be talking movies. Rangela, we took a little break.
You did take a little break. He had a work thing.
Yeah, I had a little work thing in Vegas, of all places. I gotta tell you guys, let me tell you something. A week in Vegas is too long. Feels like 2 weeks have gone by. The world doesn't stop turning. It really does, especially when you're on vacation. In this case, I was working. But hey, all bets aside, guys, let's talk movies. Let's talk about this film. Angela, what were we reviewing today?
So we're reviewing You People.
You People, ladies and gentlemen, follows a new couple and their families who find themselves examining modern love and family dynamics amidst clashing cultures and social expectations and just generational differences here. This is a movie that's definitely going to have typical conversations. Yes. Typical hostile, depending where you're at. Definitely different people. I feel like for these movies like this, I like movies like this. I'll be honest, I do. I really enjoy the movies where they really clash cultures, where they clash backgrounds, where they clash traditions, different, not just when it comes down to different races, just different traditions, different from modern day to old, family traditions from the next generation to the next. And there's so many of it. Even so, in Crazy Rich Asians, we talked about it. Even the mom, she said, if we don't continue these traditions, I remember it because I actually watched Crazy Rich Asians.
I love that movie.
On the plane. And that movie, it has so much tradition. It really does. If we don't pass these traditions on, they'll get lost forever. Yes. And that is true, right? Let's be honest here. That is true. With You People, though, Jonah Hill stars here with Eddie Murphy. And this is actually directed by Kenya Barris. Kenya Barris, I'll be honest here. This movie, it's a very conversational starter. It really keeps the entertaining going. Jonah Hill, wow. I mean, he's come a long way since Superbad, and I love Jonah Hill's Superbad. I liked him in 21 Jump Street. He's funny. He's a funny guy. Let's be honest. He's a funny, charismatic guy. He really is. To a certain degree, right? I mean, I can't,
I feel like it's one of those things like you either like his humor or you don't.
Exactly. And I'll be honest, I enjoy his humor. I do. I still do, even watching this film. But more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I loved Eddie Murphy. Oh my God.
Funny.
Eddie Murphy, when he first comes on camera in this scene here, and he just talks about this whole why everything's changing in my neighborhood. Not to go into specific details or anything, but he's complaining about everything's changing in my neighborhood. There's more businesses. It's not enough black-owned businesses, and he turns that into a joke. That's very good. I thought that was very good. It's entertaining.
It's so funny because, he plays a dad in this, right?
Yeah.
So he plays Lauren London's dad in this. And he has to not only, he like you say, he complains about the world changing around him. But also in this film, he has to watch his grown daughter get married
to a Caucasian,
a white Jewish Jonah Hill,
a Jew, yeah,
and also
who doesn't look like a Jew, by the way.
So it's just so funny because it's like you as a dad, right? Like it's this little girl, it's his only girl, right?
Exactly.
But also there have those cultural aspects of it's just a completely different culture than the family that they're going to be marrying into, and it's just Eddie Murphy is just so hilarious. He's stone cold, super intense, and he plays that part so well. And it's his camera, his presence on camera was just so funny. I loved all of his character. It was so great.
It's funny too because they actually do a podcast and it's in the trailer, guys. And Eddie Murphy, he really has that strong presence on camera. He's still got it.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. The reason why I love Eddie Murphy and his comedy is because it reaches the realm of it's a risk taker. He's a comedy movie on camera risk taker.
But
because
also,
whether and what I mean by risk taker, I mean by he does a comedy that it's not very well known anymore. It's dying down so much where you can't joke about anything. But I'll be honest here, man. I mean, life is all full of love, laughter. It's it's full of what's the boundaries, I guess. What's the certain boundaries? And Eddie Murphy reaches it to a whole another degree, which I love and enjoy because that's a true Eddie Murphy. Like we talk about it, the clumps. the Nutty Professor. You can't make a movie like that no more, which is sad. But that's the comedy that I love.
The comedy style I would describe, it's like he has such a range. Like,
of course.
Like the Nutty Professor is just like ridiculous, over the top comedy. For sure. Same thing with Coming to America.
America, the first one. Not the
over the top funny. So it's like he can be like over the top, but then he can also be like super subtle and still be very funny. So I love his like range of work and what his talent is.
I mean, whether we I just love Eddie Murphy so much. And there's our cat, by the way, guys. There's our cat. But anyways, going back into this, You People, it's a very strong title. It really is, right? I mean, that's kind of like, I think that's the joke though behind it. I really do think that's the joke. You're talking, it's like, you people.
You see, like in the film, these two young lovebirds, right? So you have
different backgrounds. Here.
Different background. Who's Muslim? Comes from a little bit different, even socioeconomic background. She didn't grow up very wealthy. Her family didn't. But then you also have Jonah Hill's character, Ezra, who comes from a white Jewish.
Very
pretty
a little
wealthy family. Yeah. So
100% agree.
You see all these differences, and they're in love. The kids don't care. They're just like, we love each other. We'll make it work. But you see, as this gets pointed out, and the film goes on, how those conflicts or those differences kind of
clash a little bit. Clash. They do.
And so, especially with like the parents who are a little bit older school, which, kind of alludes to like, there are some people in society who are kind of, like you say, stuck in their ways, and it's just how they are. And so I think this film, like you say, it's a conversation starter. It really kind of put on a film, kind of throws that out there pretty well. I like it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have to 100% agree with you there. This film, I feel like the plot really stayed to the point to a certain degree. Let's talk about the plot. So the plot, in the first half of this movie, I would say the first act, it's a good, solid plot. For me, though, besides all the positive we've been saying about this movie, about Eddie Murphy, for myself, the movie kind of goes a little overbearing, kind of doesn't know where it sits. It kind of tries to put too much of the culture clash, too much of the, not even suspense, just too much of like, oh, that's what he said. Oh my God, this is what a Jew would react if they interacted with an African American, or just it goes to the point to where it's just kind of a little bit ridiculous for me, for my taste here. But that's not on Eddie Murphy's side. That was just on the supporting roles here.
I know where you're coming from, but I feel like that was intentional, because I feel like some people in society are like too overbearing. It was just too much. Like for example,
like Julia, like from she was a little bit too much.
The mom, right? Yeah. So the mom in the Jewish family, she's a little bit tone deaf, right?
Yeah,
but she's like very tone deaf. It's like dialed way up. So, but I mean, I know it's an exaggerated part, but people are really like that. I mean they really are.
But again, it's kind
of funny. It's so cringy, but it's so funny.
Oh God, yeah, it is. It's very cringe.
And I love her. I love Seinfeld. Yeah.
I just feel like he came, and then the way the ending, because it has to have somewhat of a happy ending, and so I feel like for myself, it just didn't sit well. I didn't like the way the movie flowed together. That was kind of weird. I kind of feel like they should have moved this part to this part, not spoiling it, but putting this part to this part. I kind of felt that way a little bit. So that's just my take here. For myself, was this the fun that we deserved? I mean, to the risk that it took, I'm gonna say yes. But as a movie as a whole, I'm gonna say no. So I'm kind of like on the fence here. But for sure, because of the risk it took as a comedy, as like they don't make movies like this anymore. They really don't. I'm going to say yes, 100%.
Well, I say yes because, like you say, it's a really good conversation starter. Like it touches on these very sensitive subjects happening in our culture.
Definitely.
And, I really appreciate, like you say, the risk it took. And it did take a lot of balls to do it,
It did.
And I think it paid off. Now, was it the best well done movie
comedy,
ever?
No.
But I really appreciate the message and overall like meaning behind this film. I do.
Okay, got it. All right, same here. Rating 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest. What do you give this rating, Angela? I'm going to give it a solid, again, this is me, I'm going to give it a solid 5.5.
I'll do 1.4. I'll do a 6.5 because there were really some good parts in there.
I'll be honest though, when Eddie Murphy comes on screen, and I'm like laughing my butt off. I really am. I just couldn't stop. I have to gasp for breath because it is just so hilarious. But again, it comes back to where, do you like that comedy?
Yeah, that's really...
If you do not like that comedy, you're not gonna like. This is a movie. This is not a movie for you. Yeah. I'll be honest. I'm not being this mean. We're not saying it to be mean. It's just if you don't like that raunchy, almost like a rude humor, then you're not gonna like this movie. It's just not a movie for you.
It's hard to describe because that's really on point.
Well, it's Eddie Murphy doing Eddie Murphy. It's like the clumps. It's it's.
But also like Jonah Hill too. You have to like
Jonah Hill. I mean, if he's like he's playing super bad, but a little bit more rude. Not even more rude. I would say just super bad, I guess.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to like his comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm a little bit on the fence with it.
I know you are. I love Superbad. She doesn't. So there you go.
Okay.
I love Superbad.
But yeah, I'll give it a 6.5 because I think
that's good.
Beyond Jonah Hill, Eddie Murphy, Lauren London, I think the rest of the cast did great.
Yeah. And Jonah Hill does get writing credentials here along with Kenya Barris. So I thought this was really good. Yeah, that was them putting their heads together and being like, how can our race clash and cultures clash? I just kind of feel like let's have this drink at this LA cafe and let's see how much we can come up with a story.
It's interesting. It's a very interesting message, to be honest. I
do recommend this, guys. I mean, if you do love that comedy, check this movie out. It's gonna be in theaters coming this Friday and will be on Netflix later this month. So yeah, definitely check that movie out. But yeah, all right. So 5.5, 6.5.
What's a 6?
Yeah, I guess so. Solid 6, I guess. Yeah, we do recommend this movie, guys. If you do like that comedy, if you do like that style, check out this movie at a theater near you. I do recommend watching this in a theater if you get the chance to. If not, wait till it comes out on Netflix because I do recommend. It's going to be definitely to start or stir the pot. Yes. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That was good. That was a good punning. All right, guys. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan680. And do not forget to like, share, subscribe to us on Alamo City Movie Talk on our YouTube channel. Or if you want to check us out on our podcast platform, be sure to subscribe to us there, wherever podcasts can be found, guys. Thank you so much. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. Ryan680.
Amanda, that cat,
and this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Thank you so much. Have yourself a wonderful day. Stay safe, San Antonio. Catch you later, guys. Peace.